The Batflip podcast is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Batflip podcast. Damien, David, and Matt here with you. Guys, we've made it. It is opening week of the 2026 baseball season. So, of course, for I think our 7th time here now, we are going to be bringing you our full 2026 predictions, Rookie of the Years, MVPs, Cy Youngs, each division winner, and our wild card teams and a World Series pick here, so you can laugh at us and tell us how bad we are, just like you did last year for all of us picking the Red Sox to be very good without knowing they were trading Rafael Devers. But anyway, before we get into all this, David, are you ready for this episode?
Dude, I'm excited. Opening day this week, Thursday for most teams, like Wednesday for the Giants and the Yankees. But yeah, can't wait. This is exciting time to be a baseball fan, right? I mean, we just had some amazing games at the World Baseball Classic. Obviously, that was kind of our last episode, I think, was going over what happened. Obviously, that was a fun contest. I had a good time. I know U.S. didn't come out on top, but it was a blast of a tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. My team doesn't play till Friday, so this hellacious offseason gets to continue for one extra day for my team. But yeah, which is weird because like typically teams with outdoor stadiums will play Thursday and then have an off day on Friday in case there's weather. But I think with the Braves are opening at home this year, and I think with the situation of playing day games in the Battery with all the parking issues there and traffic issues is something they try to avoid as much as they can. So, but yeah, it's exciting. I'm ready for the season to start. I agree with you, David. The WBC was awesome. Ronald Acuna Jr. got to be a champion again, so that was pretty cool. Even though I was hoping that Team USA would pull it out, but man, Aaron Judge is playing in a tournament that usually doesn't go well. So,
fraud. He was a fraud.
Yeah, he is in a postseason style environment, but I don't know about in the regular season. He's pretty dang good in the regular season, but maybe he'll figure it out this year. I guess we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say you better watch out, Matt. Given an extra day to the Braves, they might have 5 more players hit the IL or something. Yeah. I think you just want the season to start already.
Somebody's going to be taking some stanzalol or something.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, I can't wait. Ring night Friday night. It's going to be pretty special.
Ring what?
Seeing Kershaw be able to get his ring again. Like he's going to be there for the NBC broadcast on Thursday.
Get this guy out of here.
It's special, man. Like you get to enjoy those moments, so you never know when it'll happen again. Like
that's true.
So you gotta embrace them, enjoy them while you can. So
absolutely, we got. We got to support our teams that have won world championships this decade. So
we're right. I'm right there on the cusp. Right, it's been 10. This is the 10-year anniversary, so I get a decade. Right. But after this, we're gonna have to start.
This will be the last one.
We're gonna have to go ahead and get the Cubs another one here soon.
They're gonna have to start counting putting it up on the stadium
start looking at another drought.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's start getting to double digits. This is where it starts happening. So.
All right. Well, let's jump to these awards. All right. Let's start with the Rookie of the Years because those ones are probably the ones that have the most volatility to them, I think. You just never know what teams are going to do. Last year, I picked Jordan Lawler. I don't even think he played a game in the major leagues last year between injuries and all kinds of stuff. But it's the one that has the most volatility to it. So let's start in the American League. Matt, who do you have winning the American League Rookie of the Year?
So for the American League Rookie of the Year, I have Kevin McGonigal of the Detroit Tigers. I really like his bat-to-ball skills and his plate discipline, and he seems to have shown some pop, and he plays up the middle. He's going to put up pretty good WAR numbers with his middle infield defense. So assuming that he does get a very early season call-up, if not opening day, I think he's the number one prospect in baseball for a reason. I think he's a pretty good bet to be high up on the list for Rookie of the Year. And then my dark horse pick for Rookie of the Year is going to be Braden Montgomery. He's cracked the top 100 on some prospect lists this year with the White Sox. Who's part of the Lucas Giolito trade, I believe, last year. And Braden Montgomery is one of these guys that has all the physical tools in the world. And it's mainly just a matter of, can he put it together with the bat to ball skills? Can he reduce that strikeout rate. And I feel like this is one of those guys that if he does do that, he has that ceiling of just skyrocketing to the big leagues and having a huge rookie year. Like we've seen this before where some guy comes out of nowhere like that's at this profile and just has a huge rookie year. So for the AL rookie of the year, I've got Kevin McGonigal and Braden Montgomery as my dark horse.
So first things first, disclaimer, I went last. So I tried to pick against you guys. I tried to do something different, but that does mean some of them favorites got snagged. I do want to also follow up. I am a firm Braden Montgomery believer. However, I don't think he makes the major leagues this year, so he wouldn't have been on my list anyway. I just think he stays in the minors. White Sox hold on to him. Maybe he's a next year's candidate on my list. But I went with in fact, Damien's got one of the other kind of obvious ones, so I went with what I thought would be an obvious one, but now you guys picked either of the guys coming over from Japan. I picked Tatsuya Imai. He gets rookie status because it's his first year, but you don't immediately think of him when you're thinking of rookies. I think he's going to be great for the Astros. I really do. I don't know that the Astros are going to be great, but I think Imai is going to be great, and he's going to take this. The plan is for him to opt out at the end of this year, pick up a big time long-term contract without the booking, the posting fees, and stuff like that. So I think he's in line for a great season. And that'll kind of by default give him rookie of the year, even with some of these other guys putting up really good numbers. The dark horse candidate I have, and I love this one because I think it's real possible he wins it anyway, even if Amaya has a good season. That's Chase DeLauder, who is the prospect for the Guardians corner outfielder. He is going to come up and be the bat in the middle of that lineup that they desperately need to go along with Jose Ramirez, maybe a little bit of Kyle Manzardo, but I mean, that lineup is extremely weak. DeLauder is going to have a ton of runway to get to what appears to be a really good on-base centric profile. So if he can hit for a little bit of power, and that Cleveland outfield has kind of provided some juice to some guys with the way the scoreboards have kind of tunneled the wind there, I think DeLauder could have a really, really good season and a really good career as a Guardian.
Yeah, DeLauder's been scorching hot this spring too.
Yeah.
40 plate appearances.
Yeah, if he could stay healthy, he's going to be a contender for sure. I stayed in the same division. I went with Carter Jensen as my favorite catcher for the Royals. We'll probably split time with Salvi there. The other half there, he's going to DH, though. He came up last year, got 20 games last year, had a 159 WRC plus, put up 0.7 WAR in 20 games there. StatCast metrics looked elite as well. They're bringing in the fences at Kauffman this year, so more offensive output. He hits the ball incredibly hard. Like I just really like everything that Carter Jensen has to offer this year. And I also think that him not having to play 150 games at strictly catcher and being able to play some catcher and split time at DH there, that's going to help keep him fresh, keep those legs fresh for the push there. And he's got some really good power. So I think when you start looking at these numbers for Rookie of the Year, that could be something that, he has insane power.
Yeah, he was pretty good in the big leagues last year in his 20 games as well.
Yeah, I like him.
And for my dark horse, I went with another guy who got some major league time last year as well, and that's Red Sox pitcher Connolly Early. He got 4 starts last year, 19 innings. He had a 2.33 ERA, a .91 FIP. Was crazy. In 19 innings, he put up 1.1 WAR. Insane strikeout stuff. Was striking out over 13 per 9 last year. Walked under 2 per 9. That number's going to come back a little bit more, but he has really good stuff, and I think he's kind of really underrated in that rotation. A lot of people are talking about obviously Crochet. Then you got Ranger Suarez now. He's not even the best prospect they have there with Peyton Toll, but I think Tolle even got demoted today. So
he did.
Connolly Early getting some run there, I think is really going to like.
He's going to be good.
And our friend Adam in the Dynasty League, he picked up Connolly Early in there. So, he's also got to make fun of us. But, yeah, I really like what Connolly Early has this year. So, let's stick with Rookie of the Year. Let's go to the National League. And, David, I'll have you start this time.
Well, I took your recipe, right? Catcher, splitting time at catcher, with a really good bat with major league success at catcher, right? Carter Jensen, I went with Moises Ballesteros as my Rookie of the Year pick. And I've seen people already giving him the super dark horse in the NL. And I'm sitting here like, dude, he's the DH. Like they're going to play him at catcher, but he's going to be the DH up for the Cubs. Like they didn't pick anybody up after Tucker. Like he's going to get like 130 games worth of play, and all this guy does is freaking hit. I believe in him. He might not have the WAR numbers, right? I think that's where he'll fall short to a Weatherholt or somebody. But I really, really like me some Moises Ballesteros. I think that guy is just going to mash. He's a lefty, but he can hit lefties. Like there's a reason the Cubs moved on from Kyle Tucker and then didn't sign like some 100 WRC plus DH because they believe this guy can do it and do it at a high level.
Don't discount Michael Conforto, okay, pal?
Hey, he's gonna be the right fielder for a piece, all right. He hit a 113-mile-an-hour triple today, so I'm firmly on the Michael Conforto train for the time being. My dark horse candidate for Rookie of the Year is Owen Casey of the Marlins. I saw no love for him on the national media. I saw no love for. He's going to get the whole season, man. I don't know that he does anything, but if he comes out of the gates really swinging it and he puts up 25, 30 home runs just because he's got the time, he's got the plate approach, he's got the extended look. That's a good one to go for, especially if some of these high touted rookies struggle. Maybe your Moises Ballesteros struggles, right? Like the pitcher struggle. Like he could nail it down, but you wouldn't pick him initially. That's why he's my dark horse. But I mean, he's got a chance to hit 25 homers on a bad Marlins team. Like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I think he's so similar to Colton Cowser. I mean, not Kyle Stowers, other former Oriole. Yeah, Kyle Stowers. That's the guy I was thinking of. He's real similar, and the Marlins had a lot of success fixing him and turning him into a really good big leaguer last year. So, but yeah, my pick for Rookie of the Year, and I'm glad that we picked this yesterday, and then today he got announced that he is on the opening day roster, which is good for this pick. J.J. Weatherholt of the Cardinals. J.J. Weatherholt was a prospect out of college that you felt like if he could stay healthy, he was very likely the best player in his class, but injuries were kind of a concern for him. And he has been absolutely ridiculously good across the minor league level. He's put up the lowest WRC plus he put up in any level last year was 152. He walks just as much, if not more than he strikes out. He hits for a pretty decent power. He hit 17 home runs in 109 games in the minors last year. He's had a great spring, walking a lot more than he struck out. Hit a couple home runs. Play shortstop at a pretty good level. Good enough. He probably won't stay there forever, but good enough level.
He ain't gonna
play second.
Yeah,
he's playing second. Yeah, Mason Wynn. You're right. He plays middle infield. He plays middle infield at a good enough level. He's got the range for it. You're right. Mason Wynn's there playing short, but yeah, I think Weatherholt's going to be a star if he stays healthy, and I think right away he's going to be really good this year for the Cardinals. So I picked him. My dark horse is completely out of the blue. It is off of all the odds lists, but he is going to be on the opening day roster, and he has been absolutely disgusting this spring. And that's Didier Fuentes from the Braves. The Braves have had a bunch of pitching injuries, which we'll get into probably a little bit here when we talk about the division predictions. But Didier Fuentes has pitched in 10 innings this year, or actually I think he's up to 12 now. He pitched today in the spring training game. He is not allowed to run. He's given up one hit. Yeah, I don't like his name, but he's given up one hit, and he's got a real similar profile to Spencer Strider before injuries. High fastball, high velocity, high spin rate, has a lot of induced vertical break. His stuff is ridiculous. So if he can control it, he's only 21 years old. So if he can keep his command going, I think he's got a shot at winning it and being that like surprise guy out of nowhere.
So we all picked a Rookie of the Year from the NL Central. I went with Connor Griffin. Number one prospect in baseball. The caveat here is that he did not make the opening day roster with the Pirates. He got sent down. That's probably just a thing where he'll be called up 2 weeks in the season, so they get the extra time if he doesn't win Rookie of the Year or whatever, basically. They're talking long-term extension with him. Connor Griffin is insane. he is a 5-tool prospect. He will do every part of the game you need him to. He struggled a little bit this spring, but he's just too talented, and he's going to hit for power. He's going to steal bases. He's going to play shortstop. Everything about Connor Griffin just screams like this guy's going to be a star. So I'm just, even with the late to start, I still think he'll come in and just be that good to take over Rookie of the Year. And then my dark horse, I went with Sal Stewart. I have been a big Sal Stewart believer for a few years now, and I'm very happy to see him finally getting his opportunity. He is so good, that fact that Terry Francona is trusting him to start hitting cleanup on opening day and put Eugenio Suarez behind him. He's going to be the 4-hole hitter basically and play first base for this team. He crushed it last year when in his opportunities at 124 WRC plus. He came in spring. He's had a 173 WRC plus this year. He's going to match the ball. So I have and especially in that ballpark. Playing in that ballpark, you're going to get some counting stats big time. So if he's able to keep that runway and hit in the middle of that lineup, there's a pretty good chance that he could make a run for Rookie of the Year if any of these other guys falter a little bit. So let's jump to Cy Youngs now. Let's jump to we'll start in the American League. I'll start with this one. I went with Garrett Crochet. Every fiber of me wanted to go to Eric Skubal again. First off, it's super hard to do something 3 times in a row, first off. And second off, I'm still very skeptical of the Tigers. If something happens this year and they get to the deadline and there's something faltering there, they might have a sneaking suspicion to trade. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'm betting my prediction on a hypothetical that something goes wrong there. And if Skubal's not going to win it, you look at Garrett Crochet. He's the second best odds. There was an argument he could have won it last year even. I think that's an easy pick. My dark horse, I went with Trevor Rogers. He was very, very good in his limited time last year. I think, 90 innings or something. He had a 1.8 ERA. He's always had the talent. He's just never been able to stay fully healthy. If he's able to stay healthy and repeat what he did last year, this division, first off, is going to be a nightmare. They're going to need something like that. If he's able to put up some productive numbers, I could see a world where he has that breakout type year and pushes himself up to ace level caliber. So, Matt, what do you got for AL Cy Young?
Yeah, so for my AL Cy Young, I went ahead and picked Tarek Skubal. I think the Tigers, the trade point is a good point, but I think the Tigers are at least going to be in it enough to not trade him at the deadline. I don't think they're going to be they're going to be out of it at the deadline. If they have a worst case for me is they miss the playoffs, but they're not they're second in the division at the deadline and a couple games back or something, and they won't move anybody if that's the case. They're kind of all in this year. And I think he's the best pitcher in baseball, other than maybe Skeens. And I think that I think he's better than Skeens, honestly. Skeens is amazing, and we'll get to him in a minute. But I really think Skubal is the best, and there's not much to not like about him. The only thing that for me that would be some form of a concern is that these last 2 years he's been really healthy, but he has a history of injuries before that. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But I really like Skubal. My out of nowhere dark horse for AL Cy Young is Cam Schlittler. It's kind of a gut pick, but I watched him in the playoffs last year for the Yankees, and he looked really good. His stuff is incredible. He had a great cup of coffee last year in the big leagues. And I don't know. I have a feeling that he's going to be really good for them. In 73 innings, he had a 2.96 ERA last year. He's averaging 98 miles an hour on his fastball. He's been really good this spring. He's really cut down, and he hasn't walked many guys. He's only pitched 9 innings this spring, but he hasn't walked anybody really. That's kind of his big thing. Apparently Adam didn't watch the playoffs last year. But I guess when your team got beat in the first round or whatever, or the Brewers.
The Cubs
we don't count the wild card round. So losing to the Brewers was tough, and you probably just tuned out the rest. But Cam Schlittler. So that's my dark horse.
I don't hate it, unlike some people in the chat. However, I was last to the watering hole here, so I had to figure something out because I would put my money on one of the two that have already been listed. But that ain't fun. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't just gonna hitch my wagon to you guys. Come on, I got to be different. I'm gonna go with that Crochet and Scooble have some either effectiveness issues, injury issues, something happens, and we have to go somewhere else. I think it's gonna be Brian Wu from the Mariners if we get said crazy issues for those two guys. I think Wu is kind of at that point, right, where he can make that ascension into superstar pitcher. The strikeout rate has kind of always been hovering right around 1 to 2 strikeouts below what these Screwball types hit at. So I think if Wu makes that slight step forward, I think he becomes that guy. My dark horse is, I believe, the guy I picked last year for dark horse too, but he was hurt all year, is Cole Reagans. And if you want strikeouts, Cole Reagans is your guy. Now, he had a 5 ERA last year, but the strikeouts were better than Screwball and Crochet. And I think if Cole Reagans could just rein in, some of those issues with regards to like the health and the contact rates and stuff, like I think Cole Reagans is the kind of guy that just explodes and goes for like a 6 or 7 WAR season and goes and takes it from those guys. But a lot more would have to go right for him than Wu. So I'll go with Wu as the pick if something goes wrong with the top two, and then Reagans if not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Reagans bounces back after that injury from last year. So why don't we stick with you for your NL Cy Young real quick?
Sweet. Yeah. So I was last, so the obvious one did not get added here. So I went with the runner-up from last season, Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies.
My dark horse last year.
I think Christopher Sanchez was awesome last year, and he's been able to put together how to be a really great pitcher. And then the Phillies rewarded him by ripping up what was a really good contract and giving him an extension. I think that's just motivation, right? That's belief in what you got in the guy. I'll stick with Christopher Sanchez. I had a ton of names on NL Dark Horse, though. I wanted to go with some of the Cubs guys. I wanted to go with a couple of the guys across the division. I wanted to go with some, Padres. I wanted to go with some Diamondbacks. I settled on Andrew Abbott out of Cincinnati, unfortunately. I think that guy went underrated last season. I dropped out. Did I come back? I did.
Yes,
Andrew Abbott from Cincinnati. I think that guy was really good last season. He was like 10th in WAR for NL pitchers, and I think if all else fails with regards to the rest of the NL Cy Young race, he could really be high up on that list.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, so my NL Cy Young pick is going to be chalk, and it's going to be Paul Skeens. I just don't see a way, unless he's hurt, that he doesn't win this award this year. He's the best pitcher in the National League. He's arguably the best pitcher in baseball. Like I said, I still go Screwball over him, but he's insane. And I think one thing that helps Paul Skeens is he's so popular and he's so fun to watch. He's got a little bit of celebrity status that maybe some guys who could be similar in stats at the end of the season to him don't have. So I think Paul Skeens is going to be the runaway favorite here. My dark horse is an interesting player that was out last year, and it's Yuri Perez. I think people have kind of forgotten how good his stuff is and how good he looked as a rookie and as a young pitcher for the Marlins. And the Marlins have had a really good track record over the last few years with developing young pitchers and getting a lot of value out of them. They've got that old Rays front office there. They've always done a good job with pitching. And I think Yuri Perez is one of those like absolute freaks that he's one of the few guys that has stuff that could be considered on par with Paul Skeens. Like his stuff is that good. So I don't think he's going to be Paul Skeens. He's a lot riskier than Paul Skeens, but I think there's a chance that Yuri Perez, if everything clicks for him, he could be the guy that wins Cy Young this year.
I like it.
Well, I went with the World Series MVP, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He was fully healthy last year, had 173 innings, got a 2.5 ERA. Then he just went into the postseason and was like, I'm the best pitcher in baseball. I'm going to just show everyone that, basically. And I think he is allowed this year to push that innings limit, even maybe a little bit more from 173, maybe push up to around the 200-ish mark. And also the talk recently around in baseball worlds that he is not an ace level pitcher. By some big media outlets there. I think that might give him a little bit extra added motivation to the silent assassin right there and just let him push to that level. I mean, obviously we know how good he is, right? Yeah. He got the biggest contract for a pitcher in the history of baseball before ever throwing an MLB pitch. Now he's coming on to year 3. I like everything he's done so far. I think he's just going to take a next step this year. So my dark horse, I went with Michael King. I wanted to Matt and I were on here kind of when we were doing this. I almost picked Yuri. I was between Yuri and Michael King. I ended up going with Michael King because I knew Yuri was going to get picked here. The Padres have a desperate need for a high-level pitcher this year. In 2024, Michael King with the Padres, 173 innings, a 2.95 ERA, almost 4 WAR. He was hurt last year, came back, wasn't the best. He's kind of struggled in spring training so far, but he's a guy that is on a deal where he can opt out at the end of this year, go back out to the market. I think he's going to have a big year. They know obviously they're going to have to try and do everything to compete in that division against LA. I like what Michael King has stuff-wise. They're going to need a big year from him. So I would not be surprised to see at the end of the year. They did it with Nick Pivetta last year. They've had these guys have their pop-ups. I could see Michael King being that guy this year and having that big pop-up.
It's a good one. I like it.
So let's start with AL MVP now. Matt, why don't you tell us your AL MVP pick?
Yeah, so my AL MVP is I'm going to bet on him until he doesn't win it, and that's Aaron Judge. He's the best regular season player in baseball. Other than Shohei, he's the best American. He's clearly the best player in the American League. And he's put up 10 WAR like 2 or 3 years in a row, or 2 out of the last 3 years. I mean, there's not much more to say about Aaron Judge. He's putting up like his WAR numbers are similar to Barry Bonds with the Giants right now. I mean, he's putting up just crazy numbers. Postseason's a different story. That hasn't been pretty. World Baseball Classic hasn't been pretty. But regular season, it's hard to bet against Aaron Judge. Roman Anthony is my dark horse. I love what I've seen from him. He had a great spring, looked great in the World Baseball Classic. I think I picked him for Rookie of the Year last year, and you know he didn't win it, but yeah, he's incredible. So Roman Anthony is going to be my dark horse pick. He could pop out of nowhere and win this thing. So
yeah, I love me some Roman Anthony. It's a good one. I went with I had Cal Raleigh written down, and I was like, I just don't think Cal's going to repeat. No. I think he maybe does 40 homers again. Great got your defense, 6 something more. That historically hasn't been even as good as the second best typical AL player. And my assumption is that maybe somebody somewhere is going to finally figure out that Judge isn't all that good as long as you don't throw him a hanging curveball down the middle of the plate. That's my hope. I swear the guy has only ever hit hanging stuff right down the middle. I always look at the homers for Judge, and I'm like, surely it's not just a hanging slider in the middle. And it's hanging slider down the middle. You crank it out. What do you know? It's somewhat untrue, but he also controls the strike zone really well. He's great at whatever. Blah blah blah. I'm going Bobby Witt, finally putting it all together, getting the 30 homers in a year that Judge doesn't put up 10 WAR and Bobby Witt does put up 10 WAR. That's what I'm hoping for. His fences are in for the Royals. I think the offense there is going to be better. We talked about that already. I think Bobby Witt puts together finally another one of them 10 WAR seasons. He's already had one and still didn't win MVP. Judge robbed him too. Judge is just a thief, man. Bobby Witt and Cal Raleigh, we need to retroactively give those out because those guys are good baseball players and Judge is a fraud. This is just I'm just an anti-Aaron Judge guy at this point. That's all I'm going to be.
Wow. Aaron Judge and his 220 WRC plus in 2024 didn't deserve
these advanced stats are getting out of hand.
Aaron Judge and his 58 homers in 2024 didn't deserve it over.
That's
Bobby
what I'm
Witt.
saying. That's what I'm saying, dude. Bobby Witt. He's going to win it this year. That's all that matters.
Okay.
I sat here for a long time trying to figure out MVPs. Like, I wanted to pick someone else. And then it's just like, I've picked Bobby Witt to be an MVP before. I've picked Julio Rodriguez to win MVP before. I've picked these guys to win, and it's just like it never happens. Aaron Judge is inevitable. Like, unless something happens like 2023 and he runs into the fence at Dodger Stadium again and hurts his toe and has to have surgery, like, I just don't see how you stop the guy right now. Like, he's just on an incredible run as a hitter at the moment. Like, if he's healthy, there's no way he doesn't put up incredible seasons. Like, 3 out of the last 4 years, he's had over 10 WAR. 2 of those over 11 WAR. He's had at least the 3 seasons when he's won MVP. He's had over 200 WRC plus, hit over 50 homers in each of those years, put over 100 RBIs each of those years. I know this year 2025 was a little bit lower, but the other 2 over 130 RBIs. Like, he's just incredible. And I mean, I know me saying that it's not an unknown fact, but like, it's hard to bet against that guy until it doesn't happen, right? Like, I feel like this is what we're gonna be talking about Skeens in a year or two. Like, it's hard to bet against the guy until it just doesn't happen. And you'll see with the NL, it's hard to bet against the guy until it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, and again, another thing for the dark horse, I almost picked Roman Anthony. Again, I had him on here. Actually, I had him on here. And Matt's like, I don't know who to pick. I really wanted Roman. And I was like, okay, I'll give you Roman because then he'll be mentioned. My guy I picked then is Nick Kurtz. This is a guy, if there's someone that's going to be able to match the power numbers that Aaron Judge has, it's going to be Nick Kurtz.
Cal Raleigh.
Him too.
Well,
even with more power numbers than Aaron Judge.
Even more. Yeah. I think Nick Kurtz had 36 homers in 117 games last year. There's an opportunity that he could be.
I think he could hit 60.
Yeah, the issue for Nick Kurtz is 100% the strikeout rate. I also didn't give my dark horse. My dark horse is Julio Rodriguez. I have a theme. I went with high elite defensive center fielders with big power as my dark horse, just because those guys are crew war like nobody else. So
if Julio can figure out how to hit in the first 2 months of the
season, the guy is an MVP for at least 2 months of the year every year. It's just,
but it's just the back half. He just does not good to start with.
I don't understand, Julio. I don't understand.
But Kurtz had a 170 WRC plus last year. The thing that's going to probably hurt him is first base and not being a good defensive first baseman at the end of the day. That's going to hurt his WAR numbers.
He swings and misses a lot.
Yeah, I mean, even
with Cal Raleigh.
31% strikeout rate. If that's your rookie year, but if you can even get that down to 25%, the guy's going to play so much and make so much powerful contact there. I don't know if it really matters, right? You can strike out that point. He's going to be very, very good. And especially in that ballpark before they get to the new one, that ballpark, the ball flies out of. I think it's going to come down to, are the A's successful enough to be a good team to where that in MVP races is well, does it really matter if you're on a 3rd or 4th place team if you're, good enough with Aaron Judge there? So
if Kurtz is good enough and his little buddies over there that they've extended are good enough, the A's might not be a 3rd place team.
We'll talk about the A's.
We're going to talk about the A's
here. But that's going to be an argument, right? When it comes to these things, are they good enough? So we'll see there. MVP, I'll get it out of the way, short and sweet. It's Shohei Ohtani. Until the guy stops pitching and then doesn't hit 50-50, it's hard to not give it to him, right? He's going to pitch more innings than he did last year. He's going to be over 100 innings this year. It's hard to just say that you're just not going to give MVP to that person, right? So my dark horse, I went with Corbin Carroll. It might not be as much of a dark horse as you're saying in name value, but I think a lot of people are discounting with the hamate bone injury that he had, how hard those are to come back from. So I feel like people aren't really thinking about it as much for this year. But he's a 30-30 guy walking easily. He can hit 40-40 as well. So if he's able to will that Diamondbacks team, him and Ketel Marte, into being competitive in this division, he is also very good defensively, he's got to be up there. So I'm buying the little bit of a discount I can get on the dark horse because when he's healthy, people might have him as up there as a favorite.
Yeah.
So give me the dip this year with the hamate bone injury.
You wanted 30-30? I got an MVP that's going 30-30.
Okay.
It's not a name you were thinking because people forget Juan Soto was 2 steals from 30-30 or from 40-40 last year. 2 steals. He also hit the most home runs he's ever hit last year, first year as a Met. Second year, more comfort, and maybe finally Shohei stops being amazing. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. I can't hate on Shohei, unfortunately. I can hate on Judge because he stinks in the playoffs. Shohei's freaking awesome all the time. Like I just can't. This guy is just unbelievable. I'll instead sing Juan Soto's praises. He's an MVP candidate every year. He doesn't get talked about. He's playing in the NL, playing in the same league as Shohei Ohtani. He's stuck. Like basically, like the guy's just stuck. He almost went 40-40 last year. Like this is a season we should be talking about more. I don't see it get talked about anywhere at all. Because New York media focuses on the negative, and Juan Soto is going to be incredibly positive for them this year. So I'm sticking with him. My MVP dark horse is going to be the guy who was right up there with Ohtani and some of those guys. The first half last year completely fell off the cliff. See if PCA can't do it for the entire second half. Center fielder, elite defense, great power. He's got the whiff numbers, the swing and miss problems that Nick Kurtz is going to have, and some of those other guys, but I love PC. I think if he puts together a season like he did last year, he'll be right up there with him. It's just going to be about how far up does Shohei get versus these other guys. Can these other guys stay on par with Shohei for the whole season?
Yeah. I'm going to say something about PCA that you're probably not going to love. I think PCA is the carbon copy of Michael Harris with a little bit better base running. He's the exact same player.
Except for he's a better defender.
He's a little bit better defender too, but like he's very similar profile to Michael Harris, and I think Michael Harris is a really good player, but I think it's gonna be something similar with the bat, but we'll see. There's a lot of upside there, but I'll make my pick here. I'm going chalk with it. Shohei Ohtani until he doesn't win. It's like Aaron Judge. Until he doesn't win it, I'm picking him. He's incredible. I mean, honestly, the only way he doesn't win this award is if, for whatever reason, he isn't able to pitch all year and he's a DH. But right now, he's healthy and looks like he's going to pitch all year. So that's the only way he doesn't win it is if something happens and he can't pitch.
I think if he misses time, like
yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying is the only way he doesn't win it is if he gets banged up. Like even if his offensive numbers aren't what they have been the last couple of years and his pitching numbers are not insanely good, he's still going to win it because of the just total value that brings to a team. And my dark horse is actually Paul Skeens. I think that if Paul Skeens has the type of season that he could have, I'm not going to pick his team to do really well, spoiler alert, but if he has the type of season he does and things click for them, this is the type of pitcher that could carry a team toward the playoffs. And if he carries the Pirates toward the playoffs, then I think there's a legitimate chance that he could win the award if something happens to Shohei. I think Paul Skeens is one of those pitchers who has a chance at it. So.
Well, that is our awards predictions for this year. So now we're going to run through each of our division results 1 through 5. We're going to give you everywhere we have them finishing, and then at the end we'll give wild card and World Series. So, David, why don't you start with the American League East real quick and give us your rundown there?
Yes, I have the Blue Jays going back-to-back, winning this division once again. Love what they did in the offseason. Going with the Red Sox, finishing second, Yankees third, Orioles fourth, Rays fifth. Yankees third because I think Judge is a fraud. That's pretty much the only reason. Those three teams at the top, I think Matt mentioned it earlier, it's a dogfight. All of these teams are pretty good at worst. Look at the Rays are pretty good, but somebody's got to finish last in this division, right? The Orioles added, but I feel like they didn't do enough. The offense is going to be nasty. This division is going to be tough. It's going to be a dogfight. I don't think we're really going to know who wins this until late. But my weird one is the Yankees finished third, and I like that because I think the Yankees are due for a stinker and a clunker. So I think it's this year.
And I'll go real quick because I have the exact same division lineup. I think you could make any one of these teams win it, and I could be fine with you saying that. I think you could have any of these teams finishing last, and I'll be okay with you saying that. I have some worries about the Rays with their depth, and the Yankees pitching staff scares the hell out of me right now. So that's pretty much why I have it that way as well. So Matt.
Yep. Yeah, I got the Yankees winning it. Red Sox, Blue Jays, Orioles, Rays. I believe the Yankees will figure it out this year. I am not a huge believer in the Red Sox offense. as a whole. And I think the Blue Jays are really going to be good, but I mean, not every team can win this division. I mean, there's 4 teams in this division that are really good. The Orioles are really good too, but somebody's going to get left out that doesn't deserve to be in this division. And the Rays are really good, but I think probably my biggest thing is just I still think the Yankees are the best team here. Aaron Judge can carry a team in the regular season. And I think that their pitching is going to figure itself out because Fried is really good. I really obviously like Schlittler. And then, I think Garrett Cole will come back sometime mid-season, and that gives you a pretty good 3-headed monster at the top of that rotation. So I think I'm going to go with the Yankees. And I will say, I guess my bold, not so bold prediction is at least 2-3 teams from this division make it to the postseason. So,
Yep.
We are going to look absolutely stupid all picking the Rays last, by the way. Just know that.
Yeah.
They finished last year, didn't they? They did, right?
I think the Orioles did, didn't they?
I think the Orioles
finished last?
did.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll say about the Rays.
Just saying.
I bet they don't finish last, but I bet they don't finish higher than 4th. One of these 4 teams is going to have a stinker of a year and finish below the Rays. I just didn't want to pick any of them to finish under the Rays because I don't know which one it'll be.
The Rays are back in the Trop. Their magic is back.
I want
Lord.
Junior Caminero to have more home runs than Aaron Judge this year. That would be my preference, personally.
Well,
Let's hope for that one.
we'll see.
If you want that, you might want him to go back to Steinbrenner Field.
I'm sitting here regretting putting Julio Rodriguez as my.
You needed the John Heyman tweet to be true for that not to happen.
Yeah. All right, Matt, why don't you take us through the American League Central?
Yeah, so American League Central, I got the Tigers winning it. I really like their rotation. I got the Royals in second, Guardians, Twins, White Sox. I think the biggest thing, I think the top 2 teams are pretty clear here. I think the 2 teams that you could flip-flop for me are the Guardians and Twins. But, I've bet against the Guardians a lot, and they seem to always be like the Rays and the Brewers and just do better than they should. So I'm going to pick them 3rd. I don't think they make the playoffs. I'm going to pick them 3rd. The Twins are an interesting team because if their guys stay healthy, they still have some talent there if their main guys stay healthy, but that's just never happened. And I think the vibes could get really bad in Minnesota if they don't have a good start because they'll be selling like crazy at the deadline if that happens. So I'm going Tigers, Royals, Guardians, Twins, White Sox. White Sox were improved last year, but they're not gonna. I don't think they're ready yet. So
they're not ready yet, but I have a similar top 3: Tigers, Royals, Guardians. I take the White Sox over the Twins. I think the Twins head to the cellar. I think exactly what you said happens. Follows through. Pablo Lopez is already down for the season, which puts Joe Ryan as basically the only tenured starter in that rotation. Their bullpen, they gutted it last year, sent those guys out. Buxton is still there, no trade clause. He'll be there no matter what, but you're relying on Royce Lewis to both be great and healthy. That's not going to happen. He's going to play 5 games and hurt himself. The Twins are going to be a disaster this season. I like the White Sox on the come up. You mentioned Braden Montgomery and the Rookie of the Year candidacy. I think they have a different rookie that could probably win it. Munetaka Murakami could really be crazy this season. So I like the White Sox to maybe even make noise, challenge the Guardians for that second slot. But I think the Royals and the Tigers are the 2 playoff caliber teams from this division. And, with MVP Cy Young candidates, it's not hard to see why.
Yeah, I picked the Tigers to win, the Royals second. I was really debating that, honestly. I think the Royals are going to be very good this year. They're getting Bubic back. They're getting Reagans back. You already have Lugo, Waka. I think they have some very good pitching. Obviously, I picked Carter Jensen. I think the fences moving in is a big deal. I think Vinny Pasquantino is probably going to hit 40 homers this year with those fences. It was very, very close. But in the end, I went with the Tigers right now because they're the proven commodity, right? They have the best pitcher in baseball, probably. They signed Framber, who's I know there was a big cross-up debate this year. People forget how good Framber actually is. He's good. They had Casey Mize showed at points last year that his prospect pedigree was there. They still signed Justin Verlander, who was still solid.
Jack Flaherty too, don't they?
They have Jack Flaherty. I like what they've done there. I wish they would have got some more offense, but they've proven they can get it done with this.
Yeah.
So
I think McGonigal is that offense too.
Yeah,
I think that's
potentially
good.
Yeah. But like you said, I believe in the White Sox as well. I don't have them finishing 3rd yet, but I like a lot what they have done in the bullpen and in their rotation this year. I trust them a lot more than the Twins. So One with the Tigers, Royals, Guardians, White Sox, Twins.
Yeah. One more note on the Tigers. I think Colt Keith showed a lot of improvement last year, and I think he could be a key piece to having a real breakout year to improve that offense too.
I'm going to keep saying it too. The Tigers have the farm system to stock up at the
they
deadline.
absolutely do.
They have a crazy number of good prospects here in the system, highly regarded prospects, guys that could both come up and help. I think Briseño could come up and help right away. I think Bryce Rayner could be a guy that you see traded because they are looking to make the team better at the deadline. I think that's a real possibility. So Tigers, I think, get better and pull away from the Royals using that.
So let's jump to the American League West real quick. I'll run through this one. I have the Mariners winning it. I think they're the best team by far, hands down. I have the Rangers finishing second. I like them getting Mackenzie Gore this year. Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi were all good last year. I like some of the stuff that they've done offensively too. I think Brandon Nimmo getting back to the leadoff spot is going to be very good. I think Wyatt Langford's going to take a step this year. Evan Carter getting a chance. I flip-flopped the Astros and the A's between third and fourth. I ended up going with the Astros because I just don't trust the pitching staff of the A's right now. And the Astros have the talent there. So I went with the A's fourth, Angels fifth. They're a dumpster fire. Audie Moreno, sell the team. So either one of you guys go.
Yeah. Go ahead, David.
I got the Mariners winning it as well, but I don't trust what the Rangers have done offensively. And remember, their ballpark was horrid last year for offense. So it's real tough for me to see no real offensive improvement except for adding Brandon Nimmo, a guy who already struggles to hit for a little bit of power. And then obviously the pitching staff's good, but Corey Seager's going to be hurt. You know that. We're hoping Wyatt Langford turns into, Aaron Judge or somebody to carry this offense along. I just don't see it. So I've got them finishing third and well out of playoff contention. The team I'm going with, and I'm going to believe in them, even though, Matt, you're right, the pitching isn't good, is that A's offense, they've invested a lot of real money into it. I believe firmly in Brent Rooker, Nick Kurtz, Tyler Soderstrom, Jacob Wilson, Lawrence Butler. I think that group puts together a monster offensive season in their last year in Sacramento, figures it out, takes advantage of it in a way that Colorado doesn't really do in terms of home offense, and puts together an offensive season for the books where they make a playoff push but don't get there.
Yeah.
Second. Astros fourth, Angels fifth.
Yeah. I've got the Mariners as well. Their pitching staff is filthy. I think their lineup is pretty decent. It's not great, but they've got some good pieces in there. So I got them winning. I'm with you on the A's, David. I think they're good. I really like their offense. I think their pitching's maybe a little bit better than people realize. They've got some young guys who have shown some flashes in their rotation this year. And I think, having a full season of Luis Severino being healthy again and Jeffrey Springs another year removed from his injuries, those are veteran starters who are solid. They don't really have an ace here, but they've got some good pitchers. And I believe they've got a couple of good prospects that could play a part this year too. Look out for Gage Jump as a starting pitching prospect that was a high draft pick. He's interesting, top 100 guy. So I think they'll figure out some good pitching stuff. I like the A's. I think I've got them finishing third. I think the Rangers are still, with their pitching staff, they've got a three-headed monster that, if healthy, can really carry them, between Eovaldi, deGrom, and Mackenzie Gore being there now. I like that addition. And I really am a believer in Wyatt Langford and Corey Seager to be able to put up enough runs to help some of the, second half of that offense. It's not going to be great, kind of counteract that. And their bullpen's gotten a little bit better from what it was over the last couple of years too. So I got the Rangers still getting second. The Astros, I think, are finally going to fall off. I think that's a team that is just, they're on the end of a window, and I think it's time to probably go into another rebuild here soon, but you never know with them. And obviously the Angels are awful. So let's go Mike Trout. We're going to pull for Mike Trout to have a good season. That's what we're watching for.
I got to throw Zach Netto's name in there. Despite all that,
he's good. Yeah,
he's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Doesn't get a lot of love. We didn't put him on any MVP watch list or anything, but he's the type of guy that could probably make a name for himself this season.
Yeah. If we did our breakouts episode this year, I figure he might have been
Yeah, he's a good
one
Yeah.
of the people that we would have had on there.
And then somebody would have picked him, and the other person would have said, "He's already broken out." What do you mean?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like he was really
Yeah.
good last year.
Yeah, I know. All right, David, take us through the NL East to start with.
Sure. I am not a believer in Matt's Braves. I believe the Braves are going to miss the playoffs. I didn't quite go for it, but maybe I will. You know what? I'm going to change my own pick here. I'm putting the Braves fourth. Marlins third. Neither of them make the playoffs. Phillies win it. Mets second. I think we stick with that from last year. I still really like the Phillies. I think that team is just well constructed. And it's still got another couple years of life before those guys really start to age. Mets are going to buy their way to the playoffs again, basically. But yeah, so I'm going to go Marlins third. I think I like the Marlins, but that's my weird one, right? It's that little team that could down there. Although Stowers getting hurt at the start of the season doesn't help anything, but I got Owen Casey on the dark horse for the rookie of the year. Yuri, I think, has a good year, like you guys have said. Sandy returns to form. There's a lot of really good stuff to like about the Marlins. That just my issue with them is they don't wow you, right? They're not gonna. They don't have a Shohei Ohtani type guy to carry them along. So
yeah,
Matt.
Well, I am going with the Atlanta Braves to win this division. I don't care that they've got pitching injuries. I really don't. I think a lot of their pitching injuries are going to be back mid-season. Spencer Strider, it sounds like it's only going to be a couple weeks. He got put on the IL today with an oblique issue. Chris Sale has been really good this spring. I think they're going to figure it out. I really like some of the young guys they have that are prospects that I think at least one of them is going to fill in. I mentioned Didier Fuentes as my dark horse rookie of the year pick. J.R. Ritchie's another guy to look out for. But the biggest thing for me is the lineup is healthy for the most part. Like all the guys that are that core of the Braves that they've signed to these crazy long-term deals, they're all healthy. So the only guy that's missing is Ha-Sung Kim, who is the 1-year deal guy, and he'll be back in mid-season. So like in May.
and Jurickson.
Well, we don't care about him. So we signed Yastrzemski to replace him anyways. But yeah, I think the Braves are going to be. I think the people are sleeping on how good they'll be, even with the injuries. I've got the Phillies in second. The Phillies are still really good. I have the Mets in third. I'm not a huge believer in a lot of their offseason moves, except Freddie Peralta. And I think that there's just something about the Mets, man. Like there's just something about them that they underachieve every year, and I don't know that I don't know if they've done anything to change that. Like they lost a lot of guys that they had last year that were a big part of that team and winning games. So I've got them in third. Marlins are going to be decent again. I think the Marlins actually might be a little better than they were last year, but I think they're going to be. The record's not going to be as good. So, and the Nationals are bad, but yeah. My big thing is I think the Braves are going to win. I don't care.
Adam, what gave it away?
Was it the hat?
For what it's worth, I saw the Braves get projected for as many as like 94 wins. Like I cannot see that.
The Braves had. I was going to say the Braves had like 5 guys last year that had like first percentile outcomes on their season.
Sure,
yeah.
Like they're going to a lot of those guys are going to rebound. There's going to be a lot of positive regression.
They're in the second toughest division, though. Is the problem. They're going to.
Yeah, I mean,
the winner
they
of
are.
the division is going to win 90, maybe 94 games.
Well, I mean, the Braves won 90 plus games like 6 years in a row before last year when they had tons of injuries and they had a bunch of first percentile outcomes.
Here's the thing. Bryce Elder's in your starting rotation. You are not winning the division.
That's what I'm saying.
He won't be for long.
Well, you say that, but you just said the guys aren't coming back till midseason. It doesn't matter if they come back midseason. You might be.
I'm saying that the young guys that are in AAA.
Listen, I get your defensive over your team, but this team has a lot of pitching injuries.
Okay,
I understand it.
I think the offense is going to be really good. So
that's fine. You also have 2 other offenses in this division that are going to be very good.
I think the offense. I think this is the best offense in this division.
I think
it's a hot take, but I'm down with you.
Yeah, I think the Mets are probably better, and I think the Phillies have the chance to be better than the Braves offensively, and that's not including. I think they have better pitching staffs. Like the Phillies have the best pitching staff in this division. Zach Wheeler's apparently already doing rehab starts in AAA. He's going to be back pretty soon. They have Christopher Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo. I think Nola's just fine. Andrew Painter made the Major League roster. That's a former top 10 prospect. I think they have all the talent in the world there to.
Yep.
All right.
Look. I just wish
Atlanta
we could
Braves
criticize.
division presented by Johnson & Johnson.
I just wish we could criticize Damien's team like this, right?
Okay.
Well, we
I get it,
could.
right? We're coming
Last year,
after
their
your team,
entire
right?
rotation was injured, and they won anyways.
Listen,
so-
we'll get there. We still got 2 divisions to get there. All right, let's go through this.
I just
I
wish they
think
weren't.
I do believe in what the Mets did this year.
Yeah, so do
I do like Luis Robert. I do like Bo Bichette. I like Jorge Polanco. I like Nolan McLean. People are talking about how good Nolan McLean's
we
going to be.
probably should have had him in a rookie of the year conversation.
And we forget, like, Freddie Peralta's really good too, right? Like, I think they have a bunch of guys there too that are very good. I trust them to. I mean, you could say, hey, like, well, they're starting Carson Bench. It's okay. He's a solid prospect as an outfielder.
He also probably could be in the rookie of the year
He
conversation.
could be. Like, I trust the Mets to. We make fun of them all the time, like LOL Mets all the time. It's
Yeah,
funny
literally
when
all
they
the
do bad, but I think that they're a better team than the Braves at the moment, like on paper at least. Until they have their midseason collapse and we're talking LOL Mets. But
Don't worry. Yeah, once the games start, we'll be able to talk
we'll
about
get there.
For now, on paper, the Mets look pretty good. But
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, the Mets are the 10-time defending offseason champions. So
Almost. All right, let's do the National League Central real quick, so then we can get to the West, and you guys can burn down the Dodgers.
I'll pick them.
I picked the Cubs. I think they are hands down the best team in this division. I think getting Alex Bregman, I think he's going to be just fine there. Obviously, they have consistent guys like Mr. Ian Happ, who's just going to give you whatever he gives you every year. Michael Busch obviously had his breakout last year.
It's a shame that the Cubs lost that trade already, though.
They lost
Get
it.
it back.
I'm telling you. I mean, do you guys still have Yancy Almonte in the organization?
No.
Didn't think so. He's back with the Dodgers. There you go. Won the trade.
One more.
I believe in the Reds. I have the Reds finishing second. I believed in them last year to make the playoffs. I think they do it again this year. The Brewers are ones that it's very hard to trust them, right? They'll show me I'm stupid, but you traded away Freddie Peralta. Like, that's hard to replace. You're trying to replace it with Kyle Harrison, Brandon Sproat, like Chad Patrick again. I just don't believe. I like Kyle Harrison, but I just don't. It's not Freddie Peralta. Like, it's not that, right? You have Jacob Mizrowski, but what else do you have? Your bullpen's going to be good, but I just don't believe that they're going to have enough to keep up. I think the Pirates are fourth, and I think the Cardinals are fifth.
So I thought about picking the Brewers. But I cannot reward trading away 3 different 3-WAR players off of your division-winning team with any sort of prediction to it being successful. They are replacing Caleb Durbin with Luis Rengifo.
Yeah,
I am so firm. That is so firmly even against what I think the Brewers should be doing. Like, I can't even reconcile that. Yeah, Isaac Collins was great last year, was in Rookie of the Year contention, and they traded him to the Royals for Angel Zerpa. I don't like it. I don't like anything the Brewers did. I picked them third. Damien likes the Reds. I refuse to acknowledge the Reds. I believe that the Pirates and their pitching staff are going to finally break through. They also made some offensive moves. Don't forget they brought in Marcell Ozuna. They brought in Brandon Lau for second base. I like Spencer Horwitz. Connor Griffin's going to be up. Pirates are going to have a better offense this year. Pitching staff is insanely good. They're going to have a bunch of rookies. Jared Jones is going to be back. Yeah, Pirates are the team for me in terms of the surprise team. I have them, spoiler alert, making the playoffs at the back end because I think we need to see some Paul Skeens action in the playoffs, some starts there. But that'll come on the hide of, they're making a push in the middle of the season and actually make some trades there to improve the team midseason. That's what's going to have to take, I think, in order to get them there. But that's my prediction. So it'll be Cubs, Pirates, Brewers. Cannot reward trading away 3-4-WAR play. It's ridiculous. Reds, Cardinals. I just refuse to acknowledge the Reds.
Yeah. So I have the Cubs winning this division too. I think they're the best team here. The Brewers, I've gotten second because you know what's going to happen. Luis Rengifo is about to hit 25 home runs.
I'm aware of what's going to happen.
Brandon Sproat's about to be like the best pitcher in baseball this year, and y'all are disrespecting the heck out of Brandon Woodruff, who's going to be back
with his thoracic outlet syndrome.
I don't care.
I don't think
It's the
so.
Brewers. And they have
Your logic is
insanely good.
flawless.
They have an insanely good bullpen too, which is
Yeah.
always a Brewers
Yeah.
staple. Abner Uribe's crazy. Trevor McGill is crazy. They've got 3 lefties in there that are really good. Jared Koenig, Aaron Ashby, and Angel Zerpa. And look out for DL Hall. If he can stay healthy, like this guy has the stuff, and he's finally just going to be a reliever now. And I think that's something to look out for because they've bounced him around as a starter / reliever. Don't forget how good Quinn Priester was last year for them in the regular season, which is out of nowhere. And they have spring training legend Akil Baddoo too on their injured list, and he's going to be good probably because it's the Brewers, not because he's a good player. Yeah, you're right, Adam. That's what he's been.
He's
But
been on it all year.
yeah, but we'll see. But yeah, I think I've got the Brewers in second. I just don't know that the Reds and Pirates, even the Pirates made a lot of moves this offseason compared to normal. I just don't know if they've got enough offense. They've got good pitching. Both teams do. Hunter Green missing a lot of time for the Reds is going to hurt.
Yeah.
And the Pirates, I think, have the upside to be that number 2 team here, as David picked. But they have to have a lot go right from young players for that to happen. And there's a certain percentage chance that each player is really good, and I don't think all of them are going to be good. I can think like one of Bubba Chandler, Braxton Ashcraft is going to have a great year this year, but I don't think they're all the young guys are going to have a great year. So I've got them in fourth, but I think that the second through fourth is going to be really close here. And then there's the Cardinals, who we wish nothing but bad things for the Cardinals. So.
JJ Weatherholt will be good at least.
I like JJ Weatherholt. I want him to
that's
do
what
well.
That's what they have.
He's going to be my rooting interest for the Cardinals, but everyone else can just not win.
All right, let's move over to the NL West real quick. I think this one's easy from the first team and the last team. I think it's Dodgers win, Rockies are last. The middle 3 teams, I think you could throw in a hat, pick them out, and I think you'll be right. I went with Padres second, Diamondbacks third, Giants fourth. I just don't trust the Giants pitching, and the Diamondbacks, they're going to be okay, but again, their pitching kind of gives you a little bit worrisome, especially the bullpen, where I think the Padres have an elite bullpen. They have the starters that can get you by, and obviously they have elite offensive caliber players as well. And I think Jackson Merrill has a bounce back this year.
Yeah, I went Diamondbacks second, Padres third, Giants fourth. I actually think the problem for the Padres lies in the pitching, but it's not the upside pitching, right? Because the top 2 starters really good, Pivetta, King. I think the bullpen with Miller and Morahan is really good, and Estrada. But it's that depthy pitching where if one of King or Pivetta goes down, or Mason Miller's elbow blows out, like, boy, that staff suddenly does not look very good. And then, with regards to the Diamondbacks, like, I don't like the pitching much, but I like the offense a lot more top to bottom. I think they're a complete offense. Corbin Carroll, Geraldo Perdomo, right? Like, that whole team is just excellent. Ketel Marte did not get traded. I just think that it'll be easier for the Diamondbacks to figure out the bullpen, right, than it will be for the Padres to not get hurt. That's kind of what I'm banking it on. I think the Giants are just going to struggle just because the investments that they've made into the team, like Luis Arias and some of those guys, are really untrustworthy. So I've dropped them to fourth, but really, like Damien said, it could really be any order here in second to fourth, and it wouldn't bug me. I do think whoever is fourth early in this season might commit to selling a little bit earlier to try and get a jump start. So you've got to make some bold moves in this division in order to go up and catch the Dodgers. Somebody's going to have to make something happen, right, in terms of their rebuilding or their changing directions, right? You have to make a really aggressive play. Right? We see AJ Preller, go for like trading Leo DeVries for Mason Miller as an aggressive play. Somebody's got to make like something like that happen in reverse, right? Pull in a really great player that can get on par with a lot of control against the Dodgers in coming years. And I wonder if this isn't the year for one of these teams to pull the plug, trade away some of their really good players, acquire some really good prospects, and see if they can't make the run in a couple of years.
It is also worth mentioning real quick, too, that 2 of these 3 teams right here have new managers that are both first-time Major League Baseball managers, in Craig Stammen and Tony Vitello. So it's also worth. So, Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, well, obviously the Dodgers are going to win this division. I mean, they just added a borderline superstar to a team that was already the best team in baseball, won the World Series. So, I mean, I think the Dodgers are going to be insanely tough to beat this year. I have the Padres second. This is another one where second through fourth is really tough to pick. I've got the Padres in second. I don't trust the Padres, but I do feel like this is maybe one of their last years because they're starting to get old and they have a lot of contracts that are not going to age well, and they also have some financial. Just they don't have a lot of they don't have that high ceiling of just being able to spend through it too. Like they're getting close. I mean, Machado's on the wrong side of 30. Bogarts is on the wrong side of 30. Some of their pitchers are on the wrong side of 30. Like they're getting to where they've maybe got 1 or 2 more years left where they're like a playoff contender. So I think they will go all in once again as AJ Preller does, and they'll find a way to get to second in this division. The Diamondbacks, I just can't trust their pitching. Although, like I do believe Zach Gallen will have a bounce back to a certain level, and they also kind of sneaky guy to watch out for is Eduardo Rodriguez. Looked so good in the World Baseball Classic, and he's dealt with a lot of injuries and stuff the last couple of years. There's a world where he's really good again this year too, and that would help them a lot. But I don't believe in the rest of their pitching staff, their bullpen. Corbin Burns coming back would be nice. Will be nice too for them. David, Damien or David, I don't remember which one of y'all were talking about a team selling in this division. The Giants need to be that team. They're not going to because Buster Posey, but they need to sell. They could be that team that really just stacks a huge farm system and finds a way to challenge in a couple of years, but they just won't do it. They won't commit to a rebuild. They never have. And now that they have a former player managing, they're not going. They're as the GM, they're not going to do it. But there's some disaster potential with the Giants because of Tony Vitello too. Because I have no idea how that's going to go. And good managers can't make a bad team good. Bad managers can make a decent team really bad. And we'll see what happens with Tony Vitello. And then hey, you know what? This is the Rockies division, and they're all playing in it. So it's going to be interesting to see if they go for the loss record.
DePodesta is about to turn things around, baby.
Moneyball, baby.
I actually think the Rockies have some fun stories to follow.
They do. We're all Edward Julian fans.
That's what I was going to say.
No, I was going to say we are all Tomoyuki Sagano and Jose Quintana. That's what we're fans of.
I am going to be interested if Sagano can't set the record for most homers given up in a season. That might be on the table.
Yeah, maybe. But, all right, let's real quick run through wild cards and then World Series predictions. So, Matt, give me your AL wild card teams.
So my AL wildcard teams, I got 2 teams getting in here from the East, other than my division pick in the Yankees. Got the Red Sox and Blue Jays making it. And then I have the Kansas City Royals as my last wild card. I think that they'll find a way. I don't believe in the AL West. So that's my 3 wild card teams: Red Sox, Blue Jays, Royals.
Nice. I have a similar first one. I'm going with the Red Sox as my first wild card team. I made an internal adjustment here. I'm going to say the Yankees missed the playoffs because it's my predictions and I'll do what I want. However, I'm going to pick the Royals as the second team. I think they have a really good chance this season, like we talked about with the offense. And then I'm going to say the A's make the run and get in the playoffs as that third wild card team. They'll get bounced immediately. Don't get me wrong, but they're going to be my Cinderella story for this season on the AL side.
So I also have 2 teams from the AL East. I have the Yankees and the Red Sox getting in. And then I have Texas getting in as the second team there. So Boston's first team, Texas 2, Yankees 3. I was really between the Yankees and Royals, just like David was right there. But I, in the end, went with the Yankees just because they have the talent. Mm-hmm. They have the talent.
SMH. That's what I like it. That's why I'm excited. I hope I'm right. We all I'm probably wrong, but like that's what's cool about this.
Then in the NL, I'll jump over there. Then we can go back that way. I have the Mets, the Padres, and the Reds making it as the wild card teams. I have a wild card team from each division in this one. I think the other 2 are just going to beat each other up to where it allows the third division to kind of just get an extra one.
I also have 1 from each division. I have the Mets being the first one, as you do. I have D-backs instead of Padres. I just trust that offense more. And then I think at the deadline, they make the pitching acquisition, right? That's my thought process. And then the Pirates make the offensive acquisition at the deadline, and that's why they get better and make their move into the playoffs for the first time since like 2015, I think. So that'd be a fun setup. I think I'm like I said, probably wrong, right? Maybe I'm underselling the Braves, but I'm not going to oversell the Braves because a lot of people have them as like 95 win team. I just don't see that. So I got the Braves missing. Brewers, I'm hoping miss. Boy, I'm probably wrong about that, but we'll see.
Yeah. I got the Phillies, Mets, and Brewers making the wild card here. I talked at the Braves a lot. I do think the Phillies and Mets are both good enough to be here in the playoffs. I think the division is going to be really close. I think all three teams are going to win a lot of games. And I told y'all last year I picked the Brewers to finish like 4th or 5th, and I got absolutely flamed for it. And then the Brewers were like the best record in baseball. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm not picking them to win the division, but I think that I'm picking them to be in the wild card. And I think the NL West is going to get beat up enough by the Dodgers, and they're going to beat themselves up, and they're just not going to be good enough to make to have a second team get in. So
it's fair. All right, World Series prediction time. I have the Seattle Mariners beating the Dodgers in 6 games. I think it's very hard to three-peat, right? Obviously, it's very hard to go back-to-back. They almost lost it last year by inches multiple different times. I think they're good enough to get back, but the Mariners pitching staff, that was the one thing the Blue Jays didn't have last year, was a pitching staff to compete in the World Series, basically. I think Seattle has that top to bottom. I think Jerry Dipoto will make aggressive moves at the deadline if need be to get them more bullpen pieces. I have Seattle making it this year, where they almost beat the Blue Jays last year to get there. I have them going and winning in 6 against the Dodgers.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to not pick the Dodgers because if the Dodgers, the thing about the Dodgers is if they get there, it's real tough to beat them in a 7-game set, but we have to hope they get knocked out before then. That's what I'm going to hope for. I'm going to continue make my same team pick that I made last year, which is I'm picking the Phillies to win the World Series. I think it's going to happen. Maybe this is the year, right? They just really need to not run into the Dodgers in a 5-game set. Right? That's what happened last year, and they got wiped out in 3, right?
Don't put a Ryan Kerkering in the game.
Well, they were already down 2-0 at that point anyway, right? You got to just not run into – if the Phillies can just not run into the Dodgers in the tournament, it's like maybe that's where it works. But no, I'm going to stick with the Phillies. I'm going to say they win it over the Blue Jays in 6. Blue Jays get back. I think that team is still extremely good, but they weren't able to make it good enough to get over the hump and get my pick. I really like the Mariners, like Dodgers, but yeah, that's where I'm going to sit.
David, I have a question for you. If the Phillies aren't the team that knocks out the Dodgers, who is going to knock out the Dodgers?
I'm saying they'll lose the 5-game set to the. Okay, we'll do the Diamondbacks because the Diamondbacks love to have the Dodgers number, and the Phillies beat the Diamondbacks in the championship series. How about that?
Okay, fair enough.
That's how this prediction works.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Sure.
But yeah, I've got the. I think that the only chance the Dodgers don't win without just weird baseball stuff happening is that they have injuries, like a lot of injuries. This Dodgers team. Damien, you mentioned that it was so close last year. This Dodgers team's a lot better than it was last year. Last year, the Dodgers didn't even get the bye. I mean, they really didn't have a great regular season. They won the division, but they had a really bad bullpen last year in the postseason. They've just gotten so much better, and I think the Mariners get it done this year when it comes to making it to the World Series. They were really close last year. I just really like their pitching staff, but I'll be shocked if the Dodgers don't win again. Like, I know a three-peat is tough. It doesn't happen very often, but this Dodgers team, this is the best team we've seen since the Yankees three-peat, and I think that it happens again. I really do. So I've got the Dodgers over the Mariners. I got it in 5 games. I don't think it's going to be very close, but we'll see. Weird baseball stuff happens. I mean, any team that gets in the postseason can win it. It's always weird. So
and you said the Blue Jays staff didn't really do a pitch with the Dodgers, but then they had 2 different games that they could have won it. And
I agree.
I
said the Blue Jays and Dodgers was super close. I mean, I agree. Like the Blue Jays very well should have won that, but
if their pitching fell faulty in the World Series, that's what it was. They didn't have enough pitching to withstand the entire series there, and that's what was the thing. So, but it was close at times, right? So, like you said, it's hard to three-peat, but fluky baseball things can happen for sure. So anyways, that will wrap up our 2026 MLB predictions episode. Opening day is obviously this week, like we talked about. We are back to weekly episodes on Monday nights live here on YouTube and on your podcast platforms on Tuesday. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video. Let us know what your preseason predictions are, who you like winning the World Series or any of the awards as well. We will also have midweek videos for you this year, so be sure to tune in for all of those. Thank you guys for watching this one, and we will catch you guys back on Monday.